Hello everyone, my name is Nathan Birch. In this video, I'm going to set up a computer for front-end web development. Okay, so I'm going to set up a text editor to write code, and I'm going to set up that text editor for HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So I'm going to go to Google, and first I'm going to say download VS Code. I'm going to click here. We're going to download Visual Studio Code. This is a Windows machine. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that Windows option. And then I'll open this up. Okay, just hit I accept or I agree. We can create a desktop icon. And we'll do that one too. Okay, go ahead and install it. It should be pretty quick. So Visual Studio Code is a text editor. So like if we look here, you can see that in it we can just write code. Kind of like if we were going to like write an English paper, we'd go to Microsoft Word or Google Docs. Well, with VS Code, we can write code in it. But there are also a bunch of extensions that can help make it more effective. So let's go ahead and do this. Launch Visual Studio Code. So I'm going to have you guys install 3 extensions today to help get set up. So there's lots of different things that you can do in here. But if you click on this extensions icon, we're just going to install a couple of them. So, wow, this is one of them. Wow, these are 2 of them right here. So we have Prettier Code Formatter and Live Server. If these don't show up here for you, you can just search for them. So I could search for Prettier, and I want to do this Code Formatter one, even though there are a few more down here. I just want this Code Formatter one. I want Live Server. And I want one called Highlight Matching Tag. That one. So these are really awesome. I have a bunch more extensions that I use. Maybe I'll make another video on a couple of those. But let me just show you guys what these are going to do for us. So let's go ahead and make, I'm going to open a folder on my computer. And I think I have some code on my desktop. Okay, I think there's code in here. So I'm just going to open up this web development folder. Yes, I trust the authors. Okay. Okay, good. So I can like see all of my code right here. And if I click on one of these, I can see my code, and this is really great, right? I want to set up, well, so first of all, with Live Server, I can right click on this and hit open with Live Server. And I'll say always use Google Chrome and allow access. And you can see it opened up this in Google Chrome. So my code is being rendered here in Chrome. If I make any change to this code, so like let's say I wanted to make the background color of this be like blue, as soon as I save this file, you can see it automatically updated the web page. I don't have to keep on opening Live Server. I don't have to hit refresh or anything. It'll just change it. If I add a couple more of these, there they are. Okay, so that's what Live Server does. It's amazing. And now let's go ahead and go into Preferences and Settings, and I'm going to type in Prettier. We're going to go ahead and set up Prettier. This is the extension that we're working with here, and I just want to make sure that all of these are good. I'll click on single quotes. Click on that too. Tab width 2 is good. Okay, and then the other thing that I want to do is make sure that we format on save. So I'm going to click on this format on save. So now what happens, let's say all of this was formatted very poorly. We'll just make this nice and ugly, really hard to see everything. Okay, as soon as I hit save, so I'm going to hit Control S, it saves it and it formats it. It makes it look nice. okay, which is really awesome. It works with CSS as well. So if my CSS doesn't look good, and say for example, say for example, these are all on the same line or something, as soon as I save it, oh, it actually didn't do that for me. Interesting. I wonder why I didn't format that one. Let's go ahead and fix that. So I'm going to go into preferences again, into settings. And I'm going to type in prettier. And I want to make sure that CSS is selected for prettier to format, because it worked fine with the HTML. Let's say CSS formatter. There we go, default formatter. So these language features, we probably have to restart VS Code because it's not showing up for those. So I'm just gonna hit close window, and I'm gonna open up VS Code. We'll make sure that we're good to go here before we keep going. Let's go to File. Let's actually just try this one more time. So here's the CSS file, nice and ugly. I add a line break there just to save it. And there it goes. It did format that. So it went ahead and updated that. Hey, kiddo. All right. Okay, last thing. Let's go ahead and look at our last extension. So we highlighted this highlight matching tag. So I'm going to show you guys what this does, because it's really, really nice. So if I go to an HTML file, and there are other JavaScript ones that I would also do, but like there are a bunch of divs right here, and it can get confusing to see which div is which. If I click on one, it'll automatically highlight the next one, which is really nice. But also, it'll just help me be able to see where everything's at. Okay. All right. So I just realized we're going to go ahead and download one more thing. It's called auto rename tag. And what this is going to do for us, guys, please be kind. What this is going to do for us is, as soon as I change one of these, so like if I wanted to make these be something else, like let's say I wanted this H2 to be like an H3, I would just change this right here, and it'll automatically change that other one, which is really nice. Okay. It's like if I wanted this paragraph to be something else, I could say, hey, this is going to be an H4, and it'll automatically change that closing one. So anyways, so these are a few extensions that are super helpful. Just to recap, the ones that we installed, I can just click on this filter and hit installed right here. I have auto rename tag, highlight matching tag, live server, and prettier code formatter. And like I said earlier, there are some JavaScript ones and Git ones that I would recommend later on, but to get started, these are what I'd recommend.